In the second round of the Malay Environmental Systems Offaly Senior Hurling Championship, it was Birr who faced off against Kinnitty at Banagher. Birr buoyed by a good opening round win over Shinrone, facing a Kinnitty side looking for their opening points of this year's championship following a disappointing start against Belmont. Kinnitty, however, were buoyed by the return of the inter-county man and their talisman Shane Kinsta, who lined out at midfield. But it was going to be the Birr side who looked to start the game the quicker, following on from an opening free. It was Birr who got the first major score of the game, with Colin Mulrooney's clearance making its way towards Tom Bulger, and as Bulger powered down the line, looking like he was going to tap over the bar off his left-hand side, stayed racing through under pressure from the Kinnitty defence, eventually launching a kicked shot low below Kevin O'Connor in the Kinnitty goal to give Birr a good early start. Kinnitty, however, were responding all the time, and Colin Coughlin, their free taker, tapped over a free, aided by the breeze at his back to keep Kinnitty in the game. It was Kinnitty who continued to work hard up front, Craig Taylor being dispossessed there by John Malay, and Malay shortened the hurl and nipped through and popped over the bar for Kinnitty once again. The game ebbed and flowed throughout in this opening half as Kinnitty looked to pile on the pressure from Birr, and once again they made that persistence count as John Malay once again got the ball out as far as Shane Kinsta, and he launched over his first score of the game. It was Kinnitty who had the momentum at their back, and their centre half back Paddy Delaney found space running up the field, and he shortened his hurl and popped over the bar for a good score as Kinnitty raced too clear early on in the first half. Birr once again tried to get to grips with the Kinnitty work rate, and Craig Taylor got a brilliant score, taking a pass from Stephen Lonergan and launching the ball over the bar from his own 45 for the score of the game so far. It was Kinnitty who continued to push forward with Paddy Delaney, this time turning provider once again for John Malay. Malay firing over his second score from the game. With Kinnitty now leading, Birr looked to get back into the game approaching half-time as Owen Cahill picked out a clever ball across the field to Barry Harding. Harding had time to settle himself, and he launched over a fine score from the middle of the field. It was Kinnitty who looked though to finish the half stronger and went in at half-time with a 3-point lead. Kinnitty 10 points, Birr a goal and 4. Birr tried to race out of blocks once again, and Tom Bulger played in a clever ball which was flicked across towards Sean Ryan, and Sean Ryan first time blasted the shot underneath Kevin O'Connor's crossbar for Birr's second goal of the game, a goal that would prove to be a big telling factor in the match. Kinnitty tried once again to maraud forward as Shane Kinsta, who was having a fine afternoon, got a super score off his left hand side from the middle of the field to keep Kinnitty's interest in the game. Kinnitty now leading, it was up to Birr to respond once again as Stephen Lonergan played in a good ball towards Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan having a good battle there with Paddy Rigney, but this time it was Rigney who looked to be able to clear the ball, but only as far as Michael Verney, who in a rare appearance up the field, Verney from corner back popped the ball over the bar. Kinnitty now leading by the slenderest of margins, looked to try and press on their advantage, and Brian Coughlin picked out Shane Kinsta at the middle of the field again. Shane Kinsta with the advantage at his back popped the ball over the bar from the middle of the field once again for his third point of the game. Kinnitty all the while were maintaining that 1 point lead, but Birr were looking full value to get something out of this game, and Emmett Nolan under pressure fired over a good score from play for the men from Birr to level the match once again. It was end-to-end stuff at this stage as Kinnitty tried to press forward their advantage once again, and Shane Kinsta, who was outstanding on the day, fired over a brilliant score under pressure from halfway once again for Kinnitty. With Kinnitty still leading by a point once again, it was Birr's turn to respond as Paul Cleary sent the ball across the field for the Birr forwards to chase, but it was intercepted by Colin Coughlin, and Coughlin straight away fired over a brilliant score for Kinnitty once again to keep the Kinnitty tails up. It was still Kinnitty who left by 2, but Birr weren't going to lie down lightly, and Colin Mulrooney got a ball out of ruck, made space for himself on the wing, and Mulrooney fired over the bar to keep Birr's interest in the game as they looked to get something out of this game. Birr continued to try and press forward their advantage once again as Kinnitty looked equal to the task. As Paddy Delaney was trying to come out of the fence, he got his ball up the field for Kinnitty once again as Oran Keeley got the ball inside, tried to turn Oshie Murphy, got by him, looked to have the goal at his mercy, but Keeley popped over the bar in what looked like was going to be a winning score for Kinnitty. But Birr were to have one final say as they look to remain unbeaten in the Offaly Senior Hurling Championship as Owen Cahill sent in a ball that was caught by Brendan Murphy, and Murphy turned and got the equalising score in what would be the final score of the game. It was honours even in Banagher after 2 rounds of the Offaly Senior Hurling Championship. It's Birr who remained unbeaten, with Kinnitty getting their first point of the campaign. Birr 2 goals and 12, Kinnitty 18.